can hold it like this. Can I just get your first and last name and just give me your major and age?
Yeah, Van Stanek, interior design, and 20.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so you watched the second presidential debate Sunday night.
I did.
What were your impressions of the candidates, and did anything stand out to you in particular?
I really respected Hillary for not slapping Trump. I think fact-checking probably could have been better on both sides because there was a lot of clearly false accusations and claims made on both sides, but I feel like overall Trump handled it kind of like a child, claiming everyone was teaming up on him and other such things, which is just a really bad look on anyone trying to be a leader. But thought it ended great. You know, the last question was a pretty quality question, and both candidates handled it all right, I would say, with the given circumstances. But yeah.
Did you think it was kind of odd how they didn't shake hands at the beginning, or?
Not necessarily. I feel like Trump has made a lot of false accusations about Hillary and, you know, Trump. So, like, I can see why both parties are pretty against each other at this point. I think the last question kind of made them look at the brighter side of each other, so that could very well be why they shook hands at the end and not the beginning.
Do you think the accusation, or basically the threat that he's going to throw her in jail if he was president, what did you think of that? Do you think it was unprecedented?
I mean, it seems kind of childish. I mean, president really doesn't even have that power, so to make that accusation, it's like well, no. Amongst other claims he's made, building a wall and such. I mean, yeah, I think it's a little childish of like, oh, you're my opponent and I don't like you, so I'm gonna throw you in jail. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know.
If there was a third debate or town hall meeting style thing for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, would you be watching it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And are you a decided voter, or would you consider yourself undecided at this point?
Decided at this point. I mean, with the current representatives being who they are and the lack of power in a third party vote, Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't my first decision, but with the current circumstances, yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Did you watch the first debate?
I was working during it, so I kind of like watched a recap and some key points of it.
And just anything else that stood out in the debate, or?
Again, just thought it was kind of silly. Trump seems to handle a lot of things in a very childish manner, and it was pretty brutal. You could see Hillary was very excited that she understood she was going to win. And even in the last one, when they're like, oh, hey, Trump, have you ever sexually harassed someone? And he's like, oh, other comment. And they're like, no, can't avoid this question. I mean, I think Trump's a great salesman, and he's been selling himself for the last however many months, but selling and debating are very different things, and Hillary's been a politician and has debated, where Trump doesn't debate, he sells.
So you say in terms of substance, basically, Hillary Clinton was more specific with her policies? Or?
Absolutely. I mean, she actually said, this is my idea, this is what I'm going to do. Thinking specifically to healthcare, she's like, this is what's wrong and this is what's right, so we're going to keep this and we're going to reform that. Where Trump goes, nah, we're going to lose everything, and like the new policy is going to be so good. It's like, okay, well, what's it going to be? And like, it's going to be so good. Like, no, that's not actually an answer.
Well, your decision's made up for voting, but
yeah.
In terms of like, what would you like to see Trump? Would you like to see policy specifics, or would you like to see him be more civilized in a discourse, or what would you like to see from him in order to maybe shore up the undecided vote? What do you think you'd have to do?
I mean, those two things I feel like are really like the bare minimum for a politician, as far as like having some clear line of action for what you're going to do, and not like throwing water across stage and other antics like that. I feel like a good starting point would be a clear, this is what I'm going to do kind of decision. Because he's made a few accusations, then gone back, and it's really hard to see like where he stands on a lot of issues. Even in the last debate, when they're like, "All right, well, how do you stand on religious freedom in this country and restricting refugees coming into the country?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you know." It's like, "No, are you standing by that or not?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not a decision." So just making a firm decision and sticking with it, I feel like would probably help make up people's minds.
And what was your year in school again?
My year, sophomore.
Sophomore?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else you'd like to add, or think I should cover it?
I probably said too much.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.